You, the first one is to introduce yourself, right? Just like we did last time. Okay. I'm Cliff Weddington with Orange Cackle and Moo Barbecue, and this is my son Donnie. He's Orange Cackle and Moo Barbecue 2. We started out cooking as on one team, and then in later years we separated, and he went with Orange Cackle and Moo 2, and stayed with Orange Cackle and Moo. I believe it was about 1988 when we done our first contest, and it was not a sanctioned contest, and we had been barbecuing, we'd been maybe grilling chicken for several years, and we thought we had it down pretty good, but when we got into some competition, well, we learned that we wasn't doing too good. As first contest, I said, was not sanctioned. It was down in Fayetteville. Then I believe the next year we cooked here, which was here in Winchester at the High on the Hog contest, which was a sanctioned contest by Memphis and May. At that time, I believe Memphis and May maybe was about the only sanctioned contest there was around, and we enjoyed it right well. We cooked several years in Memphis and May, and we won this High on the Hog contest 2 different times, and I think maybe we had a reserve champion another time, and I cooked it up till 2 years ago. What about you, Donnie? How many times have you cooked here?
I don't remember how many times I cooked here in Winchester. The last time was a couple of years ago. I've just about quit cooking. I cooked, I think, 3 contests last year and got 1 contest planned for this year.
Y'all ever compete head-to-head?
Yeah, several times. Not as 2 teams, Memphis and May, but we've cooked as different teams in KCBS and cooked as 2 teams in Florida Barbecue Association sanctioned contest a few times. Sometimes we cook in different towns. Sometimes we cooked side by side in the same contest. And even been in Jack Daniels contests a few times, cooking against each other. We cooked, like you said, the first few years Memphis and May because basically there was nothing else around. And then the first KCBS contest I remember in the Southeast was in Tryon, and I did the Tryon contest the first year that they've had it. And I've been to Tryon every year since then. I believe they've had it for 16 years. This will be the 17th year in Tryon. We've cooked in, I believe, every southeastern state, and then I don't know, Kentucky. I don't know if you called it southeast or not. We cooked in Illinois. Been to Kansas City. Daddy's been to Texas. We've cooked in Arkansas. Cooked in Las Vegas one time. I can't remember all the states. We've had either a grand or reserve in every southeastern state, with the exception of South Carolina. And we've only cooked in the state of South Carolina something like 2 or 3 times. We haven't been there much, so people in South Carolina have been pretty lucky. A lot of people say that Daddy started out cooking dinosaurs. I'm not sure if that's true or not. That he may have cooked some of the last dinosaurs on this earth. I ain't saying it happened or didn't. I wasn't there for that.
How do you get those dinosaur bones in the box?
You had to trim them up. He started when he was cooking dinosaurs. He used the Sahara wood from what's now the Sahara Desert. That time it was a Sahara forest. It's named for the Sahara trees, but he'd burn them all up by cooking barbecue. And that made the best barbecue. Dinosaur cooked over Sahara wood is the best thing in the world. Of course, you can't find either one now because he pretty much wiped that out. Then he went on to cooking hogs because that was the nearest thing to dinosaurs that you can get nowadays.
What are some cooking techniques you could share?
Do what now?
What are cooking techniques that you could share?
I don't know. Try not to burn your meat. Don't Some people think you got to buy the most expensive piece of meat you can find. That ain't necessarily true. You just got to treat it right after you get it. Keep a good burning fire. Don't let your fire smolder. Don't cook frozen meats. You know, just basic common sense. Don't try to get in too big a hurry. I don't know a whole lot else. Add a little luck in there to it. These days seems to be a lot of luck.
What prompted you two to start cooking barbecue competition?
Well, of course, like I said to start with, we had been grilling chicken. My wife and I was 4-H club leaders for a bunch of years, and we started out grilling chicken on a recipe that the University of Tennessee had, and it made right good chicken. But when we started getting into contests, we learned that we didn't have much. We had to make some changes and do things a bit different. And the Memphis and Bay contest, one of the things that's different about them is they have on-site judging and comparative judging, on-site judging and blind judging, and they wanted us to, or suggested that we, maybe tell the judges some sort of a wild story. It didn't necessarily have to be true, but something interesting to them. And my favorite story was, well, I'll tell you a little history about where Weddingtons come from. The Weddingtons came over here from England in 1825 and landed in North Carolina. And in the early 1865s, one of these, they come over here as Waddington, Waddington, and one of them wandered off up in Kansas and Missouri and had a little encounter with Jesse James and had to run for his life. And he started back down the interstate. He heard that Jesse James was about to get him, so he took to the hills and fields and what have you. And the only thing he had to eat was wild meat, and his own means of cooking was over an open fire. And that's where barbecue got started. He changed his name on the way back from Waddington to Weddington, and that's where the Weddington name got started, because he changed it to get away from Jesse James. Part of that story is true, part of it's not. Pick out what you want.
Did it get you a good score?
Pardon?
Did it get you a good score at the Memphis and Bay?
Well, they enjoyed the story all right. We did win grand champion in Memphis and Bay several times. They didn't have reserve grand champion as such. In our 2 years, whatever we cooked, we had, I believe it was 18 state championships, and it'd just be guesswork how many reserve champions, but we had a bunch of them. And we've also done the same thing in KCBS and the FBA. And I cooked one time in a Texas organization and done very well. But pardon?
Was that an IBCA contest in Texas?
I believe that was correct. Yeah, I done all right, but I didn't win it. What's that?
Did you cook a wild hog in Texas?
I believe I did. Yeah, I believe I did.
Crowell, Texas.
I believe that's right. Yeah, I cooked a wild hog and didn't win it, but done all right. And Memphis and May, to get in the finals, you have to get in first, go through preliminary judging and get into the top 3 before you enter the finals. And we, the last 42 hogs that we entered into competition, out of the 42, I believe it's 36 times that we've been into the top 30, and I don't know how many times we have won it, but we've done it several times. Enjoyed it through the years and all that kind of stuff.
Do your neighbors like barbecue?
Oh yes, yeah. They smell it for a mile away. Want some of it. We also cook a little and sell occasionally because our friends and neighbors want to eat some good barbecue, and not too many restaurants that serves good barbecue anymore, but they are some, but they're not too plentiful. It's not usually competition style barbecue.
Do you make your own sauce and rub?
We do make our own sauce and rub. I make the rub, and Donnie's always made the sauce, and he's had I think 2 national championships in his barbecue sauce. They always have a sauce contest, or not always, but sometimes have a sauce contest. And
What are
he's
some
done
of the things in your rub?
garlic, onion, black pepper, cayenne pepper, and thyme and basil, and some other spice. I can't remember right off what it is, and I'm not trying to keep a secret about it. It's how much of what we put in it that we keep a secret. And the sauce is sort of the same thing, except it has mustard and ketchup. Yes, prepared mustard and ketchup and whatever, to have a liquid out of it. But basically, it has a lot of the same stuff in it that the rub has.
So they don't conflict?
Right.
Okay. Anything you want to add? Donnie?
I can't think of anything.
You sure?
I'll think of it later when you're gone.